Hello, and welcome to Bite-Sized Books. If you're new to the channel, my online handle is MiniMac. My government name is Ashley. You can call me whatever you like. Today I'm going to be reviewing Atomic Habits by James Clear. All big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. But as that decision is repeated, the habit sprouts and grows stronger. Roots entrench themselves and branches grow. The task of breaking a bad habit is like uprooting a powerful oak within us. And the task of creating a good habit is like cultivating a delicate flower one day at a time. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. True long-term thinking is goalless thinking. It's not about any single accomplishment. It's about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so do the evidence of your new identity. This is one reason why meaningful change does not require radical change. Small habits can make a meaningful difference by providing evidence of a new identity. And if a change is meaningful, it is actually big. That's the paradox of making small improvements. This is a 5.5-hour Audible that I highly recommend. It comes with a lot of tools to help you follow the steps and procedures to create better habits. So I've broken this down into 9 slides for you. I'm going to make this review as quick as I can, but there is quite a bit of valuable information in this book that I'd like to share. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. For example, if you were to make a 1% improvement every day for a year, you would end up with results nearly 37 times better. The same way money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat this. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Good habits make time your ally, and bad habits make time your enemy. It is not until months or years later that we realize the true value of the previous work that we have done. So when you don't see immediate improvements, don't feel discouraged. The work wasn't wasted, it was simply being stored. In the 3 layers of behavior change, we see outcomes are about what you get, processes are about what you do, and identity is about what you believe. With outcome-based habits, the focus is about what you want to achieve. With identity-based habits, the outcome is what you wish to become. Simply put, for example, you may want more money, but if your identity is someone who consumes rather than creates, then you'll continue to be pulled towards spending rather than earning. True behavior change is identity change. You may start a habit because of motivation, but the real reason you're going to stick with one is because it became part of your identity. The first step is not what or how, but who you want to be. Identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. All habits proceed through 4 stages in the same order: cue, craving, response, and reward. The 4 stages of habit are best described as feedback loop, the form of an endless cycle that is running every moment you're alive. This habit loop is continuously scanning your environment, predicting what will happen next, trying different things to handle the outcome, and then learning from the result. The 4 laws of behavior change are 1, to make the cues obvious, 2, to make the craving attractive, 3, to make the response easy, and 4, to make the reward satisfying. You can also invert these to break bad habits. If a habit remains mindless, you can't expect to improve it. Habit stacking is a really useful tool. What it looks like is instead of saying, I'm going to meditate every day for 10 minutes, you'd say, I'm going to meditate every day for 10 minutes after my morning coffee. The key is tying the desired habit to something you already do every day. And if you want habits that are stable and predictable, you need to have an environment that reflects that. And your environment also includes the people you surround yourself with. I mean, you know, they say you are the sum of the 5 people you spend your most time with. So maybe look at joining like a personal development book club, or just make sure that the people in your life are trying to maintain the same habits and goals that you are. Another useful tip is, instead of avoiding temptation, trying to eliminate it from your environment altogether. So obviously, if you have a drinking problem, maybe don't go hang out at a bar. Now let's talk about the dopamine spike. A, before a habit is learned, dopamine is released when the reward is experienced for the first time. B, dopamine rises before taking action immediately after a cue is recognized. This spike leads to a feeling of desire and a craving to take action whenever the cue is spotted. Once a habit is learned, dopamine will not rise when a reward is experienced because you already expect the reward. C, however, if you see a cue and expect a reward but did not get one, the dopamine will drop in disappointment. D, this sensitivity of dopamine response can clearly be seen when reward is provided late. So the key takeaway from this is that dopamine is not only released when you experience pleasure, but also when you anticipate it. It is the anticipation of the reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take action. Desire is the engine that drives behavior. If you combine habit stacking with temptation bundling, which looks like this, I am going to meditate for 10 minutes after my morning coffee, and then I'm going to do yoga while I listen to my favorite podcast. So it's a little bit of a reward, right? With the habit line at point A, we can see that the habit takes a great deal of concentration and effort to perform. With B, we see that after a few repetitions, it gets easier, but still requires some conscious attention. And in C, we see that with enough practice, the habit becomes more automatic than conscious. So practice makes perfect. With the Goldilocks rule, we see the optimal level of arousal as the midpoint between boredom and anxiety. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. As habits become routine, they become less interesting and satisfying. They become boring. Therefore, habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. There is also a 6-month review and a 1-year review that James Clear does with himself to maintain these habits. In December, he asks himself what went well this year, what didn't go so well, and what did I learn? About 6 months later, he does an integrity report where he asks himself, what are the core values that drive me? Am I living and working with integrity now? And how can I raise my standards for the future? This prevents a gradual slide back into old habits when you're not paying close enough attention. So that is the bite-sized summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear. Once again, I do very highly recommend this book. I hope this review was helpful to you in some way. I'm wishing you much peace, love, and light, saying stay blessed, and bye for now.